In the middle of a church hall, Miriam stood alone. She held a flash drive in one of her hands, and on the other hand, it was really shaking. All the members' eyes were on her. Some people had their mouths widely open while staring at her. The man behind her, the only one they called Pastor Joshua, was really sweating. Not because of the heat in the church, but because he don't really know what his wife was up to. But he was scared that something bad was about to happen. Miriam was Joshua's wife, the woman they used to call Mama Pastor. But today, she was not standing in that church to smile. That day, she came to speak. Let me tell you all how it started. Let me tell you how this quiet pastor's wife became a storm in his life. Hello, besties. Support your girl, share the story, like it, and do not forget to click that subscribe button if you have not. Now, let us get right inside this beautiful story. Many years ago, in the village of Akwa Ibom, there lived a beautiful young lady named Miriam. Miriam had big dreams, and she was the first girl in her village to become a lawyer. When she passed her bar exam, people clapped. The villagers was happy. She made her family so proud. But when she finally met Joshua, she put those dreams aside and decided to build with her husband. Joshua was a pastor in a very small church, and Miriam saw big potentials and decided to support her husband. As she dropped all her dreams aside, she told her husband, I want to build this ministry with you, and we are going to accomplish a lot. Joshua was so happy because Miriam stood to her words. She built the ministry with him. Miriam gave him her time, her money, her strength. They were just 7 members when they started that ministry. But now, they had one of the biggest churches in the city. People came from far and wide just to see Pastor Joshua. They said he was very powerful, that his words could shake the devil. They called him the man of God. And anytime they see Joshua's wife Miriam, they call him Mama Pastor. That was the nickname the church gave her. No one asked if she was tired. No one asked if she was happy. But in all, Miriam always smiled. Every Sunday, every prayer meeting, every night vigil, because she believed in the work she and her husband was doing. One sunny Sunday, Miriam sat at the back of the church hall fanning herself. The choir was doing their audition that fateful day. New people wanted to join, and one of them was a very young girl with brown skin and a tiny waist. Her name was Ada. That day, she wore a very beautiful dress that sparkled like Christmas trees. She didn't even smile too much. She sang like a bird. Even Miriam was impressed with her singing. She even clapped for her. But what shocked her the most was when her husband walked in and took Ada's hand and said, this one looks very special. She's really gifted and spiritually strong. Can't you all see the way she's singing? Oh, this one, she's very gifted. And she reminds me of the early days. People laughed and Ada blushed because of the compliment she was getting from Pastor Joshua. But Miriam just stood there. She was just watching them. And from that day, Ada's name started ringing like a bell in their home. At first, it was little things. Ada began sitting in the front row. Then she got the special mic. Then she started helping Pastor Joshua with his messages. She had very deep insight. Pastor Joshua would say to Miriam, anytime he's talking about her, he would compliment her, say how spiritual Ada was. And Miriam never said anything. She never complained that the compliment was too much, so that she won't seem as a wife who is jealous. She also acknowledged that Ada was really talented. Everything was going on well. But Miriam started noticing another strange thing. She would wake up in the middle of the night and she will find Joshua's side of the bed empty. For several nights, when she wakes up, she will not see her husband by her side. But whenever she walked towards the living room, she would hear the husband talking on the phone and always whispering. Miriam never heard any words that came out of her husband's mouth whenever he's talking in the middle of the night. Then she decided to confront him and ask him what was going on, because this strange attitude is not good. Joshua now told her, "Oh, I am doing a late night prayer with Ada and two members of the churches. They just wanted me to guide them spiritually." Miriam said nothing. She just nodded in agreement, but she felt something was not right, because it is really unusual. The behavior her husband is behaving these days, it is not like him. But she never questioned, she never said anything. She just kept quiet. Then something funny happened. One day, a junior usher came to Miriam, and this young usher was really nervous and even scared to talk, but she managed to open up. "Auntie, I don't know if I should say this or mind my business." Miriam was confused. "Say what? What are you talking about there? Calm down, talk to me. What is the problem?" "Ma, I saw something." "Oh, what did you see?" "Well, it might not be that I see something and I just say it in a way that is not good. It might not be they are doing something bad, but this is the second time, or rather third time I'm saying this. I saw Pastor and Ada hugging each other in the office. They were really close, ma. I don't want to keep this to myself. It kept on biting my soul anytime I see them. Please, ma, don't be angry. Maybe I misjudged, but I think you should just bring down your eye and look around. Maybe it might not be what it is, so, or maybe it is." Miriam was really shocked. She was not expecting such thing from just an usher. Her face was calm. She pretended everything was all right. Thank you so much. You might have seen something that is not there, okay? But regardless, thank you for letting me know. I would bring my eye down and observe what is going on." The usher left, and Miriam couldn't believe what she just heard. From that day onwards, Miriam decided maybe her husband have started to notice her tiny waist and her beautiful figure. Maybe if I change my clothes, wear new clothes, he will not do that thing he was about to do. Miriam changed. She went to the boutique, she bought new clothes, she fixed her hairs, she even started learning how to make up. She wore smiles like it is her clothes. She smiled more and even laughed louder. At first, Joshua, her husband, noticed, but he was not really interested. He thought maybe the wife just wanted to change her wardrobe. Then, one Saturday morning, Joshua came home whistling. He dropped his bag and hugged Miriam. "You are in a very good mood though," Miriam said to him. And Joshua replied, "God is good, my lovely wife." But immediately, Joshua hugged Miriam. She smelled perfume on him, one that she has not even wear even for once. A soft, fruity one. But Miriam did not bother to ask him. After all, he meets with a lot of people. They might have exchanged some kind of hug. That is why her husband is smelling in such a manner. Then Miriam noticed there was a red stain on his white shirt collar. Joshua picked up his Bible and walked towards his room. Miriam just stood there frozen. God, Is what I'm thinking true? Is my husband cheating on me? That thing that Usher told me, is it true? Because how do I explain this female perfume and the lipstick on his collar? Hey God, Joshua, if you are cheating on me, I swear you will not like it. I will ruin you. How dare you? After giving up my life, my dreams to build with you, and this is how you want to pay me back? God, let this not be true, because if I open my mouth, if I take action, fire will burn. Help me hold it though. Let me not see what I don't want to see. Marian still kept to herself. She did not confront her husband. But later that week, she was on her own when a text message came through on her phone. When she opened the text message, there was no text, but only a picture. It was a picture of Pastor Joshua and Ada at a hotel reception. He was holding her waist and Ada was laughing. She was so happy, and the two of them wore sunglasses like they were trying to hide. Miriam stood there and she couldn't believe her eyes. She looked at the photo for a very long time. Then she confirmed her fears. Tears rolled down her cheek. But Miriam did not shout. She did not confront her husband. The next day was Sunday. She wore a very beautiful dress, fixed her hair, did a very beautiful makeup. And when Ada walked past her, she stopped and said, "You look so good today, ma." Miriam replied, "Oh, thank you so much." She knew that that reply was not from her heart. She was really boiling. The audacity for the girl to be messing up with her husband and still have the mind to compliment her. That night, Miriam cried at the bathroom floor, not because she lost her husband, but because she lost her respect. Because they thought even if she found out, she would never speak up. They thought they would silence her, or they thought that her silence meant weakness. But they forgot something. Miriam was a very brave girl. For her to go and study law, it means a lot. With the fact that she grew up hearing her grandmother say, when a goat keep quiet, it is not because the goat is afraid, it is because it is waiting for the rain to fall. And now, the clouds are gathering, and that rain was really coming because this woman Miriam, they thought was just a wife, was more than that. She was a woman who did not want to shout, confront, or stop making empty noise and doing nothing. She wanted to teach her husband a very good lesson. That is why she was quiet, even after finding out that her husband was cheating. Miriam did not do anything. The next Sunday, she wore a very beautiful lace dress. And she wore light makeup and walked inside the church like a queen. People turned to look. Even Joshua noticed too. He smiled at her like nothing was wrong. A big hand for our beautiful Mama Pastor. Pastor Joshua announced his wife as she walked in. People clapped, but Miriam did not smile. She sat in the front beside the deacons. During the service, Ada led worship. She closed her eyes and even cried while singing. You alone are worthy. That one shocked Miriam. Hey, see this one. Upon all the atrocity you are doing behind, you are here crying and singing, you alone are worthy. Miriam was really looking at her. She wasn't even looking or listening to the voice. It was her song and her reaction. In those eyes, Miriam saw no shame. This girl has no shame. She had really bold confidence. Can you imagine? That night, Miriam had a dream. She saw herself standing in front of the whole church with fire in her mouth, and everyone was listening. Her grandmother stood beside her and said to her, "The tongue is small, but when you use it well, it becomes thunder." Miriam woke up sweating and she knew it was time. The next morning, she dressed very beautifully, took a taxi to her old friend, Barrister Oluchi. Oluchi was the only one who knew Miriam before she became Madma Pastor. She was also the best lawyer in town. When she entered Oluchi's office, they exchanged pleasantries, greeted, and Oluchi sat down and started listening to Miriam's story. After she is done listening to her, she said to her, "But Miriam, why did you keep quiet for too long?" "Because I don't want to bring shame to the church, Oluchi." Shame on a man that does not have shame. What are you hiding? He's already bringing shame to the church by doing what he did. I need your help, Oluchi, and I want to do it the right way. I need advice on what to do because I am not the type of person that confronts. It's not me. I love doing things surprisingly to people, and the outcome, I love it to be very, very shocking. Although she now gave her a very good advice. Well, don't fight them. Oh. Don't go and start making noise. All you have to do is for you to fight the truth. You will have to go home and you have to start saving plenty evidence. In fact, you will have to pretend everything is all right. Oh. Do not make anyone suspect a thing, especially your husband. You know men, they easily notice when we women are not in the right frame of mind. So please, you have to be very, very careful. When Miriam got home, she turned into a very private investigator. She will secretly search Joshua's laptop and she saw the emails they both sent to themselves. She saw some love notes hidden in Simon books, and she then had to check the church office cameras, and the video showed Joshua hugging Ada late at night. Miriam did not cry. She copied everything in a flash drive. Then she placed it in a very small bag. Every Sunday, she would keep that bag close. She smiled. No one noticed because she does not want to hurt herself by thinking so deep. Miriam decided to take life the way it is. There is nothing she can change and everything is not in her hands anymore. One evening, Pastor Joshua came back home late. Miriam was in the kitchen cooking party hot jollof rice. When he walked in and kissed her cheek, Miriam felt that same perfume again. She then told him, "You smell really nice, oh. And where are you coming from?" "Oh, a church meeting, oh." "Alone?" No. I was with the choir leaders." "Was Ada there?" Miriam asked. Then Pastor Joshua looked at her, but he didn't suspect anything. He just smiled. "Yeah, she's one of them. Is anything wrong?" Miriam looked at him. "No, I just wanted to know what time to start setting your plate at home again. You know you have always been coming back home, so I just want to know how everything is going." Pastor Joshua laughed. "Oh, my love, you are being too dramatic." Miriam turned back to her pot. As she was turning the food, she said, "God sees, oh. Even when the eyes of men are blind, God sees everything." Pastor Joshua stopped and looked at her, but didn't say anything. He left. Then the most dramatic and funny thing kept on happening. Miriam kept on receiving pictures, voice recording, where Ada was telling someone very soon she would go. "Pastor say I have the grace to lead the women fellowship." Miriam saved all of them. She added everything to the folder, the lies, the mockery, the laughter. But Miriam did not stop doing one thing. She never stopped working, even though she was really hot, but her face never showed it. She still went to the church and helped clean it. She still served her husband, Joshua, his food. She still led women in prayers, but in her spirit, she was not there anymore. She was just doing it for the just doing it sake. One Friday evening, after their church service, Miriam walked into the church. After she forgot her scarf, she decided to go back and grab it. When she entered Joshua's office, she heard soft music playing. She then opened the door very quietly and she saw them. Joshua and Ada, they were both laughing, and Ada was sitting on his lap. Miriam did not shout. She didn't even confront them. She didn't even drop the bag on her hand. Yes, she was heartbroken. Yes, she was really hot. But she did not react. She just picked up her phone and videoed what she witnessed. Afterwards, she turned back and left. When she got home that evening, she lay on her bed looking at the ceiling. And that was when Miriam said to herself that she can no longer hide all this. Let the storm begin, because her husband will see what he is actually looking for. 2 weeks later, the church was busy. It was their 15th anniversary. Banners everywhere. Poster of Joshua and Ada smiling side by side. Come and witness grace. That is what the poster was saying. Joshua walked around with pride. This will be our biggest celebration yet, he told Miriam. Miriam smiled and nodded, but in her heart, she was speaking to the heavens. Father, I had no sword, but you gave me the truth. I'm going to use it well on this stupid man. He won't see it coming. That Sunday, the church was full. Men wore suits. Women tied big gailies. Even the children looked very neat. They know they were coming for a very big party after the church service. There were balloons, and a big one said, 15 years of grace with Pastor Joshua and Mama Pastor Miriam. Miriam stood at the back of the hall watching. She didn't even react. She just held her black bag. Inside of it was the flash drive. The flash drive that held the truth. Joshua was smiling on stage, even though he was still sweating a bit, but he was so proud. Ada was also beside him. She wore a very beautiful dress. When Joshua took the mic, he laughed. My people, can we shout hallelujah? The crowd roared, hallelujah. He spoke about the ministry, how it started. He thanked God and he even thanked Ada, the young lady who had been so much of great help. People clapped. Then he turned to Miriam and to my wife, Pastor, Mama Pastor. May God continue to give you strength. Miriam smiled, not with her full chest though, but in her spirit. She knew the storm she was about to bring. After the sermon, they called people one by one for testimonies, and people stood and shared their testimonies. One woman said, "Oh, after Pastor prayed for my son and talked to him in a spiritual tongue, my son passed his WAEC." Another man climbed and said, "Oh, my business started booming after Pastor Joshua prayed for me." Then Joshua smiled. "Mama Pastor," he called his wife. "Come and bless us with your words," he said. People clapped. Miriam stood. Her steps were really slow. She then climbed the stage. She took the mic, looked around, and took a deep breath. Then she spoke. "Good morning, everybody. Good morning, our beautiful members in the church. You all have been a very great part of our journey. You've watched me serve, you've watched me sweep floors, lead prayers, support this altar." People were nodding. Some were even smiling, confirming her words to be true. But today, people of God, I want to share my own testimony. Miriam reached into her bag and brought out the flash drive. Joshua's eyes widened. Ada sat up straight. Miriam turned to the media team. Please, can you help me and play this? The man that took the flash drive, he hesitated, but Miriam turned and said to him, please, help me and play it. Then, the screen came on. It was a video. A man and a young woman, Joshua and Ada, laughing, holding hands, kissing. The whole church went silent. Some stood up, some covered their eyes, some were in real shock. The video ended. Then came the voice note. Ada's voice. Pastor said, I am his new light. Soon she would leave and I will sit beside him forever. Then Joshua's voice. She is just there for the image, but you are my real anointing. Miriam still stood still. She didn't cry, she didn't shout. She simply looked at the crowd and said, when a man hides under God's name to do wickedness, God does not sleep. He waits, and when he rises, even thunder will kneel. Then chaos broke out in the church. An elder shouted, Jesus, not our pastor. Some tried to rush to the stage. Joshua grabbed the mic and turned to his wife and said, Miriam, stop this madness now. Miriam stepped back. Well, I stopped being mad the day I stopped being blind. Joshua looked at her with fear, real fear, not because of the video, but because he saw that Miriam was not afraid of him anymore. Ada tried to run outside, but people blocked her. Where are you going? One woman asked. Is this not your ministry? You will have to continue the ministry. Oh. Miriam took one more thing from his bag, a white envelope. She handed it to Joshua. What is this? He asked. Your freedom. Signed divorce papers. You may now sit beside your new light. And let her help you in guiding this church. Pastor Joshua did not expect what he just witnessed. He was really shocked. He started to beg his wife, wait, Miriam, please. But Miriam did not even listen to him. She was walking away already. 1 month later, after the whole chaos, Miriam sat in an office, not a church office, a law office. Her name was on the door, Barrister Miriam Okafor and Co. She has now returned to her life, her lawyer life, the real thing she wanted to do. She picked up the pieces of her life and moved on. As for Joshua and his church, he lost half of his church members. Some elders left. The church name was even removed from the building. Ada disappeared. Some said she moved to another city. Some said she now sells clothes on Instagram. No one really know anything about her. But one thing is sure. Miriam spoke her truths. And in that truth she stands. She moved on with her life. And her stupid husband, Pastor Joshua, got a very good lesson. Hello besties. Oh yeah, share this story. Let someone else find courage to do the right thing, because sometimes speaking the truth is better than hiding and being silent. Give this video a very big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and tell me in this comment section if you enjoy the revenge that Miriam gave to her husband. Was it sweet and hot? And do not forget to click that subscribe button. It is very important so that you won't miss the next beautiful story that is coming your way. You can also support Mona by buying me a coffee. The link to buy me a coffee is on the description of this story and on my bio. See you on the next one. Goodbye and God bless you.